on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone out there. Happy Thursday to you. It started off a little wet, but we hope the sun comes back out on today. Today on Community Conversations, I'm your host, Quabila Harden, along with Ms. Micah Simone.
Good morning, everyone.
And my very special guest, Dr. Melodie Philhours. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Melodie. And today, Dr. Melodie is from Arkansas State University, associate professor of marketing, and she teaches a lot of marketing and management classes. And so today we're going to be talking about professional time management and productivity. So I'm very interested to hear what she has to say, because this can apply to us that, here, especially at the radio station. This is a professional business. We need to learn how to manage our time and be more productive to get more done in an efficient way. But before we get into the topic of the day, I'm going to let Dr. Melodie give you a little background about herself. How did you come to Arkansas State, and how did you get into this field?
Oh, wow. I've been at Arkansas State for over 30 years and have had a wonderful experience at Arkansas State and taught so many students and gotten to know so many people over all these years that it's just been a great thing for me. So I've been here over 30 years. I actually went to school at Arkansas State, and so I got a degree in marketing way a long time ago. And I actually, as I was telling you a few minutes ago, Quabila, that I got my professional start in radio and advertising copywriting, and I worked in radio for a couple of years in Jonesboro and in Little Rock, and then moved back up here, and I had gotten an accounting degree also. And I called my former chairman in the accounting department, Dr. Strasser, and I said, hey, do you know of any accounting jobs? I'm moving back up here. And he said, why don't you come teach for us? And he said, you have an MBA, a CPA, why don't you come teach for us? I said, okay. And I've been there ever since. And so
it's wonderful.
It's been a great experience. It's been wonderful.
All right. So let's talk about, how did you get into starting, is this a topic that you teach in your classes on a regular basis? Time management and productivity?
No, it's not. This is really more of a sideline, I guess, and more of a personal interest and passion for me. I have 3 grown children, and so they're grown, and I have one 6-week-old granddaughter who is so awesome. But anyway, I spent all those years working when my children were at home, and they were very active in things, and I kind of developed on my own some ideas about how can I get more done, because I want to be able to go home in the afternoon and pick them up from school. I want to drop them off from school. I want to get my work done. I want to pick them up from school. How can I be more productive during the day? And then now that my children are grown, I don't have those kind of limitations on my time. I don't have to be home at a certain time or picking one up from school. But I have a lot more hobbies and activities and things now that I like to do, and so the more productive I can be at work and the more I can get things done, then the more time I have to spend on maybe my other types of activities and goals.
Okay. Do you feel that the tools and tips that you give also helps individuals, like you say, in your personal life? There are some people that try to handle too much.
Absolutely.
And they get overwhelmed, and then they get burnt out, and then they just get to a point, I just want to go hide away from the world for about a day or a week or so.
Sure.
But I was looking through the information you gave, and it's about finding a balance, outlining your priorities.
Yes.
What's most important, what has to be done now, what can wait. And I'm going to let you get into more of this, but I love the first question that you put on the list. What would it look like if you were wildly successful?
Yes. And I like to think about that, and I think we can all, and I hope your listeners can think about, what would it look like to you if you were wildly successful? Because that would be different for me than it is for you and for Monica and Micah. I'm sorry. Okay.
Monica's a nice name.
I thought it was Micah, and then I thought I heard you say Monica. So no, Micah. Okay, I'm sorry. Forgive me for that. So it would be different for the three of us sitting here. It's different for everyone out there. So what does that wild success look like for you?
Okay.
And so however we might define that, and I kind of define it for myself in terms of this a meme that you all have probably seen. Everyone probably seen that. It says, you see someone walking off into the sunset or whatever it says with a backpack. It says, if travel were free, you'd never see me again.
Oh, wow.
So I love to travel. I have lots of things that I love to do. But if I were wildly successful, I think that that's just what I would do all the time, would be traveling all the time and taking pictures of my travel and riding bicycles all over the world and various things like that, that I would like to do. Of course, I'm not financially independently wealthy, and so I have to work some too. And the beauty for me is that I do love my work, and I love the people I work with, and so it's not necessarily a job to me.
Okay.
But the more productive I can be at work, that gives me more time. That makes me a little more successful, and I can make more money, and I can have more time to do these things, to travel and to do those kind of things. And so, whatever wild success looks like for you, I think it's always good to have that in your mind, that this is why I'm doing all this, and this is why I'm going to work hard, and why I want to get more done, so that I can get more fun stuff done too.
Okay. I see in the information you provided, you mentioned someone named Anne Marie Slaughter. She did a TED Talk. And
Yes.
I have put doing a TED Talk on my to-do list for, I don't know what age I'll be, but whatever.
Sure.
I put that on my to-do list.
Yes.
And I love watching those various videos, because these people are giving you valuable information, even though it's in a short time span. It's valuable information that you can take a lot away from. Like, okay, I never thought about that concept. So, can you tell us a little bit more about her talk?
Yes. I was just kind of scrolling through TED Talks one day, and I saw that, and I listened to it, and I just found a lot of meaning in the things that she had to say, because what her situation was is that she was the first female director of policy planning for the U.S. Department of State. And so she was very high up when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. She was very high up. She was, I guess, next in command to Secretary Clinton. And so she had an opportunity for an even greater job, but she did not take that because she needed to go home. She said, I need to go back, I guess it was New York, where her husband and her two teenage sons lived. And she said, they need me now, and I need to go back there and do that. And so it was really about that choice that she made, and how you can't really have everything, but she also went on to talk a lot about how we can change our views of how people work and how we perform jobs and that sort of thing to get us into more of a position to be able to have everything. And the thing that touched me most about what she said, and this came to me in a couple of years ago, we had a young mom who taught classes for us. She was a full-time instructor, and she had to be gone one day. She came through. She had to be gone somewhere with her son. He was 5. She had to take him to the doctor or something like that. So she wasn't going to be in class and wasn't going to be on campus that day. And I said to her, and then to my assistant in the office there, that is totally fine, that she needs to be gone today because she has a family obligation and she should tend to it, and also know that when she is here, she gets everything done. She gets, there are other people who come to work and chit chat all day. We all know those people, and not necessarily to SU, but anywhere, in any place, any business, people come to work and chit chat all day and they don't get their work done, even though they're putting in the time. But I know that she got the work done. And so when I heard this in Anne Marie Slaughter's TED Talk, and I'm just going to read this because so I don't mess it up in what she said, but I thought it was really great, that her management philosophy is, if family comes first, work does not come second, that life comes together. And she wrote that, if you work for me and you have a family issue, I expect you to attend to it, and I'm confident, and my confidence has always been borne out, that the work will get done and done better. Workers who have a reason to get home to care for their children or their family members are more focused, more efficient, and more results oriented.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and I thought, that really is true. And I've seen that over the course of my career. It's like when my children were little, I was more focused during the day because I knew I had to leave at 2:30 and go pick them up from school.
Okay.
Now that my time is less limited in that respect, I'll do things maybe that aren't so focused during the day because I know I can stay until 6 or 7 or whenever, and I can get it done. And when I go home, I'm not going to be tending to children and doing all that kind of thing. I'm going to be, I can continue to work if I want to, or I can do something else if I want to. So.
As you were talking, I was thinking about, and as you were reading this, thinking about there are many families that if they're at work stressing about what's going on at home and not allowed to go handle that, like they're not going to get the work done productively or in a timely manner.
Exactly.
And it's just going to create a snowball effect of things that could have been taken care of in the beginning.
You're exactly right. Yeah, so it's like when you're at work and you're worrying about things that you need to be home doing, or you're at home and worrying about things that you need to be doing at work. Neither place is getting your full attention and getting what they need and what you need to give it.
That's right.
And so if we can, so that's what kind of led me to start looking into these kinds of things, these productivity tips and techniques, so that when I'm at work, I can give it my full attention, and when I'm at home, or when I'm out riding my bike or out doing whatever I'm doing, I can give that my full attention too. And I'm not worried about what I didn't get done at work.
All right, so let's get into your list of things of how people can be more productive, not just in their professional life, but also in their personal, and how to merge those together to hopefully be successful overall.
Yes.
Okay, so you listed play a game that you can win.
Yes. And let me preface all of this by saying I think all of these techniques can be focused on your personal life or your professional life. So you have your list of or your outcomes that you want to achieve in your personal life, and you have outcomes you want to achieve in your work life as well. And so all of these will go to both of those things. Okay, you just keeping that. What does that wildly successful look like? Both personally and professionally. So play a game you can win. Then that goes back to what you were just saying. Sometimes we are paralyzed by the length of our to-do list.
I know.
Yes, I know. You got 60 items on there, and you just, what do I do first? And so playing a game you can win is being realistic about what are your outcomes for the day or for the week. What do you want to have happen, and what's most important that you accomplish this day. And so that's playing a game you can win, because we're demoralized when we have that long to-do list, and when at the end of the day our list is longer than it was when we started, and it just feels bad. And so you're laughing, you must know what I mean.
Yes.
I have a question.
I'm currently in the same situation where when you first said it, play a game you can win, I thought it was more so as a technique that you play this game first, and then you apply that same winning attitude to your livelihood. So what type of games do you play?
Well, it's not really a game.
I mean, what's your technique?
But what my technique is on that is really looking at what is it that I need to get done today, and then not burying myself up in all those things that maybe don't have to be done today, but that kind of plays into the next item that I have on my list here, using that rule of threes. And this is a timely rule here that you can look online, and you see that lots of places there. But it talks about developing 3 outcomes that you, and I'm using that term deliberately, outcomes versus activities, but developing 3 outcomes that you want to achieve and that will build toward each other. So you could set that for a year. I want to achieve these 3 things in a year. This is, I want to run a marathon, which I don't, but I'm just using that as an example. I have no desire. But, I want to run a marathon. I want to write a book. I want to achieve this level of sales. I want to have my house completely cleaned out and organized, whatever it might be. So you have that outcome for the year. So think about then what are the, so you have your 3 outcomes, just very brief statements like that. Then, so what are your 3 outcomes then that you want to achieve this quarter? What are your 3 outcomes that you want to achieve this month? What are the 3 outcomes you want to achieve this week? And then 3 outcomes today. So what are the 3 outcomes that I need to make happen today that will lead me toward that goal? So do I need to clean out 1 drawer at home today? Do I need to write 1,000 words toward that book?
I never thought of that.
Yes. And so you have those 3 outcomes today, and every day you would have those outcomes, and every week, and then you review and see, am I achieving those? Am I doing those things? Am I being sidetracked by distractions? Am I being sidetracked by social media? Am I being, what part of my day is not working toward that goal that ultimately makes me wildly successful?
Okay, I'll tell you from experience. Okay, I have Blackboard on my tablet.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm going to watch one of my assignment videos. I'm going to read one of the handouts. So I'll pull something up, and then I'll get a notification pop up, like, oh, let me go check that out.
Exactly.
And before I know it, I've spent 20 minutes on Facebook or Instagram.
Exactly.
And that could have been my 20 minutes reading.
You could have been finished with your 20 minutes, with your reading by that point. And yes, that's exactly what happens, and it does to me too. And one of the things that one of the tips in here that I have too is turn off your notifications. If you don't see that, I know, and that hurts, doesn't it? Yeah, it's because you think, well, somebody might send me something that I want to know, and I need to act on right now or respond to them. And, that kind of leads us to another thought, is that sometimes people, and just to use a phrase, sometimes people steal our time.
Yes,
and so does that, so is it really necessary that you responded to a Facebook message, or that you saw a post, or could that wait until you say, okay, you know what, every day about 4 o'clock I'm going to decompress and look at Facebook. I'm going to respond to all those messages or something like that, And, we think a lot, if somebody's, was going to steal our money, we'd be very upset about that. Yeah, somebody getting in my purse, going to take $20 or something, I'm going to be fairly upset about that, But if they're, somebody takes 20 minutes of my time, I'm okay. I might be okay with that, or we're much more okay with it, or willing to do it.
Okay.
Like Facebook would take 20 minutes of your time that you could have been moving toward achieving your goal of completing this class.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So turn off the notifications and if you look at my phone, I don't have notifications on Facebook, but I do have it on my email, and I probably should turn those off too.
And that's one. Actually, it's down on the list about decluttering. That's not the word you use, but minimize email friction. But I don't want to move too fast.
Yeah, okay.
And I know we can't go through each one.
Sure,
in full detail.
I don't have any order on these really, so that's okay.
But I just at least wanted to throw these out there for anyone that is listening or watching. If they want to make a list of, okay, how can I really get my life, professional and personal, in some type of order? Use journaling and review techniques.
Yes. This is really quite powerful, and it's something that you kind of have to discipline yourself to do a little bit. But if you look at, say, you've made your outcomes, my 3 outcomes for the day. Well, maybe before you leave work, or before you go to bed, or first thing in the morning, you might look at it and say, okay, did I achieve those outcomes today?
Okay.
How did my day go? Maybe well, Tuesday was a mess. Well, what went wrong on Tuesday?
Okay.
Wednesday was great. What went right on Wednesday? What did I do? What happened that made Wednesday really productive? And so that's the journaling and the review techniques.
Okay.
And experts suggest doing this daily and weekly, so that, like, say on Sunday night or Monday morning, you look back, or I guess you could do it on Friday or Saturday if you want to, but anyway, whatever day works, you look back on your week and say, okay, overall, how was this week, and what did I accomplish? how did I do it? What are the things that I want to repeat next week? What are the things that didn't work well for me that maybe tripped me up? And what do I want to do differently next week? And so that's the journaling and the review. And then some people do it monthly and even also annually. And an annual review is supposed to be very good. I've not ever been disciplined enough to do an annual review. But that's, if you're looking at long-term goals, I want to finish a degree, I want to write a book, I want to do whatever here, then you're, it may be will be a multi-year project. And you can look at that and see, what are the things that I need to do differently.
Okay, this next one on the list, make a list of 5 before 11. What are the 5 items you want to accomplish before 11 a.m. tomorrow?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah. That one came from, and I have to give a shout out to Allison Lewis of Jonesboro. She wrote a book called The 7-Minute Difference.
Okay.
And that came from Allison's book there. And the point of that activity, and I found that to be very useful, is that when you're leaving work, you
Have 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We'll go back to that.
I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break right here, and we're going to let Dr. Melodie finish up that statement. When we come back, we don't want to run out of time. So you're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. Phone lines are open. We're live on Facebook, so leave us a message, and we'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
What's one of the most powerful gifts you can give your child? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. It's not some high-tech gadget you can pick up at the store. It's a sense of belonging. So, how can you instill that in your kids? At home, let your kids know they're important to you and to your family. Affirm their positive character traits. Encourage their unique gifts. And let them know that their thoughts and opinions matter. Then, when you're out in public, praise them to others and proudly claim them. This is my daughter, Rachel. She's an amazing young lady. This is my son, Brian. I'm so proud of him. Give your kids a sense of belonging, and they'll never have to look for it elsewhere. Remember, your family first.
For more resources on today's topic, go to markmerrill.com. The Family Minute with Mark Merrill, helping families love well.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com. Hello. This is your girl, Allie J, and I want everyone to join me for Kicking with a Cancer. My birthday bash going down June 23rd at Legends Barbecue Smokehouse, 1025 West Johnson Avenue, across from Riceland Foods in Jonesboro. This party is going to be an all-ages affair from 7 to 10 o'clock p.m., and I'm letting all cancers in free until 8:30 p.m. with ID. Music by DJ Mr. Chew. To celebrate my birthday, I'm going to make it easy on your pockets, too. Just $5 to get in for adults, $3 if you're 13 and 17, and kids 12 and under get in free. I told you it's an all-ages family affair, and you know you want to be there, right? And just because it's my birthday, I'm giving away presents to some lucky guests. So come kick it with a cancer June 23rd at Legends Barbecue Smokehouse, 1025 West Johnson Avenue from 7 to 10 p.m. This is a KLEK fundraiser.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Starks Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. The all-new Starks Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro, 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
Hey, what's up, Jonesboro? This is Hezekiah Walker. I'm so blessed to be on the radio here at KLEK 102.5 FM. Join me for the Hezekiah Walker Show every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10 o'clock a.m. right after Community Conversations, and every Wednesday night right after your local church Bible study at 8 o'clock p.m. Jonesboro, join me, Hezekiah Walker, and give every praise to our God on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Hezekiah Walker. It's the Hezekiah Walker Show.
From the KLEK Community Calendar, New St. John Missionary Baptist Church presents Back to School Bash and Diaper Distribution. There will be school supplies given away as well as diapers. There will also be food, games, music, and door prizes. This event will take place August 12th, 2017 from 10 o'clock a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m. at New St. John Missionary Baptist Church, 310 North Main Street in Jonesboro.
Did you know KLEK has a brand new streaming app? That's right, you can listen to KLEK 102.5 FM anywhere in the world. The app is available for all Android phones and tablets, as well as iPhones and iPads. Just search your app store for KLEK and download the KLEK app for free today. And don't miss a beat of the education, entertainment, and empowerment on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Dr. Melodie Philhours from Arkansas State University. She is the Associate Professor of Marketing, and today we're talking about professional time management and productivity. Even though it says professional, this also spills over to your personal life as well. Most people do have a job, or they do something outside of just being at home all day, so they have to find that balance of how can I get outside of the housework done efficiently as well as at home work done efficiently. So before we went to break, you were talking about, we were finishing up the 5 before 11.
Right, that 5 before 11. So if you think about how sometimes we're at work and it's time to go and you have to go, and leave, what are you working on and what do you want to continue in the morning, and what are the things that it's important for you to pick up in the morning? And so this 5 before 11 could just be that list, and you leave it on your desk. These are the 5 things I want to get to first when I get in the morning. Or, you lay out, here are the materials that I need to do these reports. So I'm going to lay out, here's my paperwork on that I need to lay out. And so that way you don't lose the flow, because sometimes, and we want to go home, we get hungry. That's what happens to me. I'm at the office 5 or 6, 7 o'clock, and I go, okay, I could stay and work, but I'm really hungry. I've got to go. I've got to go get some dinner. And so then I'll set up so that I don't lose that flow. So when I get back in the morning, it's all still there. It's all still ready for me, and I don't have to remember and think about what I had to do.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great tip.
Alrighty. And then the next item we've kind of already touched on, protect your time. Basically, watch out for those individuals or things that try to steal your time.
Sure.
Turn off those notifications. I like this one. Says block your time, shut your door, set an out of office on your email. So someone I've seen those. I've emailed someone and an auto reply will say this person is unavailable, they're whatever the case may be.
Sure.
They'll get back with you in this amount of time frame.
Sure. Yeah, and that's helpful, and that way you know when someone will get back to you. So if you get one from me that says I'll get back to you after 3 today, then it's going to be 3 o'clock before she calls or gets back with me.
Okay.
And another thing that I really like is managing when people come and talk with you, let's say, or just sit down and start, and you can kind of set expectations for how long I'm going to, I can chat with you, because we all know situations when someone comes in and maybe we talk business for 10 minutes and we talk for an hour about nothing, and while that's pleasant and fun, it doesn't get your reports done. It doesn't get you where you need to be.
That's right.
And so just saying I need to be over at the Delta Center. Can you walk with me? And sometimes they'll say oh no I'm done. See you later. And then you wander over to the Delta Center, wander back really quick or something like that. Or when you come into a meeting, because we all know we've been in those meetings where everything has been said but not everybody has said it.
Can we go there?
Can we go? And so you can come into the meeting and say, like a 10 o'clock meeting, and say, okay, I apologize, y'all. I have a meeting at 11, so I'm going to need to leave about 10 till. Mm-hmm. So that sets. I'm here for 50 minutes, and that's all I'm going to be here. So whatever you need me with, let's do that in that 50 minutes.
Okay.
And so that's really very helpful, I think, to do that.
Okay. And there are times I don't know if Mike has had this experience. People will call me and I'll be like, okay, look, I really need to read. I can give you maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And then just, okay, one more thing. Look, I need to go.
Yes.
Or I'm guilty about answering the phone for certain people because I feel like they don't call me often, so this may be something important. Like,
yes, right.
But more times now, I would say within the last 2 weeks, I've been doing more of, I'll text a reply, I'm busy at the moment, can I call you back?
Yes, exactly.
And we have a call.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Good morning, caller. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. I think I was calling just to listen in. Is there a different number?
Ma'am?
I said, is there a number just to call in to listen?
Oh.
Because I don't have internet access.
Let's see. I don't have that phone number. Let me get that information for you right quick. Thank you for tuning. No problem. Thank you for tuning in to KLEK. And who are we speaking with, if you don't mind?
This is Lisa Matthews.
Lisa Matthews, was nice to talk to you. Okay. Trying to find the phone number where you can call in. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Okay. No, that's the request line. I apologize. Are you, like, in your car or in an office, or?
Yes.
You're in your office?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can go online. If you can you get on your computer?
No, I can't.
Okay. I apologize.
Well, we do have the YouTube video that will be available after the show. If you would like to tune in then, whenever you do have internet access, that may give you a more of the conversation instead of picking up where we are now.
Gotcha. Okay, that'll work. I can listen at lunch, but just not right now.
Okay, we're also live on Facebook, so the video will be available right after the show.
Okay, that'll work. Thank you so much.
I apologize, and thank you so much for calling in. Okay, I'm sorry we couldn't help her right away.
Yeah.
I've got to find that information. I know there is a number that you can call in and listen to the show.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So let's get back to our list.
Okay.
We were going to go into the next one, avoid friction.
Okay.
Procrastination feeds on friction. Think about it. You're rocking along, getting things done, and then you need something that you can't find, or to talk with someone who isn't there, or someone needs something from you. Friction is distraction and fear. Fear of disappointing people. Fear of missing out. These fears cause us to say yes when we should say no. Oh my goodness.
Yes, and I like the idea of friction. Because when we think about it, you're just going along and then you hit something. You get a rock in your shoe. You get your shopping cart gets stuck on something, and that happens when we're working and we're being very productive there. And so we have to try to minimize that friction, because I was talking with someone recently, and she said, when I'm online, she was in banking, and she said, I'll be waiting for something to download, a rate to download or something, and it might only take a minute, literally 60 seconds, but in that 60 seconds, she goes, I think, well, I'll check Facebook, and then 20 minutes later, she gets back to that, and it happens to me too, and I find myself, if something takes a minute to download, or if I need to call someone while the phone is ringing with them, I might, my phone is beckoning to me, and I pick it up and say, what's going on Instagram? That kind of thing. And then you lose all that time.
Yes.
It's the distraction there. And also, we can be very distracted by that fear of missing out, FOMO.
Yes.
And I think that's what leads me to jump on Facebook and that kind of thing, because it's like, I want to know what everybody's doing, and I want to know what's going on.
I want to know if she had that baby.
I want to know if she had that baby. I want to know what happened, you know, what's going on. And so that fear of missing out, that fear of not responding to people quickly. And, you know, a lot of times, and I'm going to kind of jump around just a minute here, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts by Cal Newport, who wrote the book Deep Work, and he makes a distinction between shallow work and deep work. And deep work is that thinking, you know, where you really need to kind of be by yourself and you're really thinking and being creative, and you know, your studying would be deep work, and when you're really researching something or coming up with you know, creative ideas, that kind of thing. That would be deep work, and shallow work is responding to emails the very second they come in. You know, shallow work is doing things that other people that could be delegated or that could be automated, that kind of thing. And I've also heard him say that shallow work will keep your job, but deep work will get you promoted, or deep work will make you rich. You know, because you're doing something that someone else can't do, that only you can do because of your knowledge and your skill and your mind work. You know, and so when with that fear of missing out, that fear of disappointing people, the fear of you know, I'm not going to be responding quickly enough, so they're not going to know I'm here, or I'm not responding quickly enough that they know I'm right on top of things and working. You know, that's relatively shallow. You know, and when you can maybe block off times to do that really thinking work, really deep work, that you'll get more creative and more different things done, and lead you to your ultimate goals.
Just to piggyback off that, I wanted to highlight a portion of that stuck out to me. It says, our brains were meant for having ideas, not holding them. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, I love that, and that's been very helpful to me. That the analogy that I've heard used for that too is, say that you have a whiteboard, you know, and you write all your things on your whiteboard, your shopping, you know, your grocery list, your shopping list, your to-do list, you know, all these kinds of things, and you fill it up and you got a big do not erase at the top of it, you know. And so then where's room on your whiteboard for thinking, for deep work, for being creative, for connecting ideas and doing these things? And so that was the analogy that I read about, you know, that you know, your mind was meant for creating ideas, not holding them. And so, and think about that too, because I think about a time when you're trying to remember, okay, I need to get milk on the way home. You know, I need to stop at the bank on the way home, or whatever, you know. And you keep, I keep repeating that in my mind so that I don't forget it. And then I was filling my mind up with, I've got to get milk on the way home. And that's relatively unimportant. When I could write that on a sticky note or write it on a piece of paper and staple it to the handle of my purse, and then I'm not going to forget, you know, when I leave the building, you know, to stop on the way home and get milk. But so if you can outsource out of your head those kind of things, that, you know, getting milk on the way home doesn't require thought, it requires remembering it. It's not that you have to make a decision about it or do any research or anything like that. You just put it somewhere where you remember it, and then that way it can go out of your brain because you don't have to think about it again. So, yeah, because it's in a system that you've captured it, and it's going to remind you at the right time to do that. And so you don't have to have it floating around interfering with the cool things you're thinking about in your head.
And that goes along with minimizing email friction and manage all inboxes. You just got to make a decision what's important, what's not, decluttered, organized. And, you know, sorry, you had to wait.
sorry you had to wait, but, you know, but you did, because you would not lead me to be wildly successful.
Now you can get my full attention.
Yes, and now you can have my full attention.
That's right.
Exactly.
All right. And then organize with list. I love list. You know, I have a bunch of notebooks with a bunch of lists and a bunch of... I need to learn how to organize that a lot better.
Yes. And so that's your system. You need to organize your system, you know. And this system that I have, this list of lists here that I'll talk about here in just a second, came from a book called Getting Things Done by David Allen, and he's one of the gurus of productivity here. But he says that you should have a list, and I find this to be helpful because especially now that I have this little granddaughter in Kansas City, I try to work from Kansas City a good bit. And so I have a list of things that I can do when I'm not in my office.
Okay.
And also get the resources together that I need if I need any paper or any documents that are printed or whatever. I have to get those together and have it with me. But the lists are things that you need to do at home, okay, at the office, online, okay. So when I have internet access, this is something I need to do.
Okay.
At your computer, this is not necessarily online, but you have your computer, okay. And then errands, and then at Brain Dead, these are like brainless tasks that you can do. So it's like, okay, when I don't have anything else I have to think about or do, I can think about this because it might be somewhat pleasant and it's not that important. And then the at someday maybe list is for if you think of something that I know that's not going to happen this year, that's not going to happen, it's not going to happen this month, it's not going to happen this year, it's but someday I might like to learn to speak French, or I might like to do this or that. You can just put that on that list because again, it outsources out of your head, And I can remember when my youngest child went to college, what am I going to do now? I'm not running around with her, I'm not doing things with her, so much. And what is it that I want to take up now? That's when I would look at that someday maybe list, or maybe at some point, I think I need a real change. So let's look at my someday maybe list. What were the things that I used to think I might do someday? And they're there. But I like these lists being that way because then when I am in the office, these are the things I must do while I'm physically here. When I'm at home, I must be physically home to do these things. And you can just organize them. You can do different things. Sometimes it's like, I'm in my car. How many phone calls do I need to make in my car? Sometimes I'll have a list. These are the people I need to call on my way home. Kind of thing.
So the clear to neutral.
Yes.
This is the nice habit before you leave at night or right after you finish your frog.
Yes. Finishing your frog, we'll probably need to get to that. But that clearing to neutral I find to be very powerful too. And what I would do there
what does that mean? I'm sorry.
Sure. Yes. Let's see. That's right there.
You skipped ahead of us.
I think we skipped ahead, but that's okay. Clearing to neutral might be in a physical sense. Let's say I'm working on a project and my desk, and I've got all the paperwork and the things out there that I'm using for that project. So when I finish the time that day or whenever that I'm going to allot to that project, then I clear everything up. I put that stuff away. I make my desk a very clear space, so that I have room to think, and there's a lot of connection between your physical space and your mental space. And so, like, if I've got a stack of papers sitting over here that I need to grade, let's say, and then I'm trying to work on a curriculum proposal. Well, those papers are in my side vision, I'm thinking, I'm going to have to get to those. I'm going to have to get to those. And that's distracting me from that curriculum proposal that I'm working on, And so clearing to neutral would be to remove everything from your desk that is going to distract you. So you put those papers I need to grade, maybe I'll put those in the drawer until my calendar or my timer says it's time to do those papers now.
I just learned to do that. Kind of like if I have other classes on my bed waiting for me and I'm trying to write this paper. I'm thinking about, I still have this test and that. So that's perfectly understandable.
And, I have heard several different numbers on this, but the idea is that multitasking doesn't work. And because when your mind goes somewhere else, it's something like, I think the least number I've heard is like 27 minutes before you get really focused back on that. And so think that every time you look over there and see those other books or whatever, it's 27 minutes before you're really back into that.
Wow.
Yeah, so that adds up. I mean, I would have thought it was 27 seconds, but I've heard various numbers that are all in about that range.
And then the fact that whenever you were speaking of the clear to neutral, I think what brought me to that, or what drew me to that, was when I read the line, doing this eliminates friction. Procrastination feeds on friction.
Yes, that's another point of that friction there. It's like when you see that stack of papers I need to grade, when you see the other books that you other classes you need to get to, then that that's a friction point, because you're working along on your paper, and then you just hit that little friction, you hit that little grain of sand, or whatever, yes, and it threw your shopping cart off track, So yes, and that clearing to neutral, and you can do that on your desktop, your physical desk. You can do it on your computer screen too. A lot of productivity experts say, have one browser window open and that's it. Don't have your email open at the same time. Wow. Don't have anything else open. If I'm going to be, say, writing something, have Word or whatever it is, Word be the only thing I have open, so that, and I'm getting no notifications, my email's not popping up, nothing like that is happening, because that's going to distract me and cause friction.
Yes. We were talking about procrastination and friction. We had to watch from a conflict resolution class this TED Talk by Tim Urban, Inside the Mind of a Master Procrastinator, and he went through this really cool description. You got an assignment here, it's due here. Well, okay, I'm gonna put it off, and then you get to this point where, okay, it's like 2 weeks before it's due. It's like, oh my gosh. And then you have this, you have this person he used like people and animal references. You have this person that's guiding your brain, stay on course. But then you have this little monkey, this procrastinator. You can do it later. Let's have fun. Let's, And again, okay, you procrastinate. The friction is now, I'm a week before my assignment is due, and I have like this much time to do 100-page, whatever page paper.
Right.
So now you're freaking out.
Exactly.
So anyway, okay, not going to get too deep into that, but that's a really cool video someone would love to go and watch. Yeah. You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. Please don't go away. We'll be right back after these announcements. I hope that you are getting something out of this, taking notes. This applies to your everyday, all-day life. So we'll be right back.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. The Better Business Bureau has issued a warning to look out for scams. Scam artists can trick you in a variety of ways. They place fake ads online and list vacation rentals for great prices. They steal property descriptions and photographs from legitimate real estate websites, and then post addresses for homes that aren't available, or even make up fake addresses for these listings. In some cases, pretending to be the homeowner, scammers use information obtained from people who respond to the ads they posted to commit identity theft, especially in popular retirement areas or college towns. Other con artists rent an empty house, and once the real tenants return, they come home to unwanted residents living in their home. The key to protecting yourself, according to the Better Business Bureau, check out the property thoroughly before putting money down for a vacation home. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdanielLawyers.com.
Arkansas Early Learning is accepting applications right now for childcare. We have locations all across Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org. That's arearlylearning.org. Right here in the community at no cost. Arkansas Early Learning offering kids a head start.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
When a woman gives her all to a boyfriend, she is hopeful about the future. Marriage was in her future plans until she received some shocking news. Now with her dream shattered and life altered, she has to pick up the pieces and move forward. It was in this experience that she realized that love has no protection. KLEK 102.5 and Massey Production presents the inspirational gospel stage play, Love Has No Protection, a story that would inspire you, renew, and reaffirm your faith. Featuring performers from all over Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana, 7 p.m. Saturday, June 24th at the Arkansas State University Student Union. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door, and can be purchased at KLEK, Cool Cuts, and online at www.klekfm.org or by calling 870-277-1080. Bring the entire family Saturday, June 24th to the Arkansas State University Student Union to see Love Has No Protection, the inspirational gospel stage play, 7 p.m. This event is a KLEK fundraiser.
Just added a special 3 o'clock p.m. matinee show. That's right, now it's going to be 2 shows, 3 o'clock p.m. and 7 o'clock p.m. The hit gospel stage play, Love Has No Protection, coming to the ASU Student Union Centennial Hall, June 24th. Don't miss it. KLEK 102.5 FM wants to be active in the community. If you or your organization is hosting a community service event, we would like to know about it and be a part of it. KLEK will promote your event on air, online, and on social media. KLEK personalities may also attend the event and provide music and or entertainment. Certain restrictions and availability may apply. If you or your organization would like to partner with KLEK to make the Jonesboro community a better place, call 870-277-1080 or email us at klek@klekfm.org. In order for a community announcement or church announcement to be aired on KLEK 102.5 FM, we ask that the announcement be sent at minimum 1 week in advance. Thank you for supporting KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to our last segment of Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I don't know about you all, but I think Mike and I are truly enjoying this conversation.
I'm definitely enjoying it.
We're learning so much, and even though we only have a short time, I feel like this conversation can still go on and on and on. There's so much more to dive into. But I do want to give you the opportunity to talk about the last bullet point, even though we've already dived into it some. Now engage and do. You've given us all these tips on how to declutter and, try to eliminate friction and procrastination and make lists and, really put some thought into what you have to do. Okay, now let's engage and let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do
this. All right. I think the first thing I want to talk about on engaging and doing is something that Micah mentioned a minute ago about after you eat the frog, do this or that. So what does that eat the frog mean? Okay, and there's a book called Eat That Frog.
Oh.
And apparently, too, that was attributed to Mark Twain, that he said, if you eat a live frog first thing in the morning, nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day. And that is gross and disgusting. I think nothing worse might happen to me the rest of my life. But anyway, but the idea is do what you don't want to do. Do the thing that maybe is, whether you want to do it or not, I guess is most important. Do that thing that is hardest for you to do, because sometimes the most important things are the hardest things for us to do. So do that first thing in the morning, and the idea there is that you have more energy in the morning, you're more awake, you're more focused, and you have fewer distractions. Because like this morning I got to the office about 7 and no one was there. I had no distractions. The phone didn't ring, the emails weren't popping up. And so I got a lot done between 7 and about 8:15, 8:30 when I came over here. And so, whatever frog that I had to eat, I can do that in first thing in the morning. And whereas if you go through the day, other people are around, other people are, you've got other demands, things come up, and then you might not get your important thing done. So that's the eat the frog. So eat that frog.
And looking at this list some more, it says, talk about eating breakfast, exercise, meditation, planning, reading. And that's where a lot of us go wrong. We don't fuel our body. There's some people that say, okay, I'm dieting, I'm just going to drink some water and get it going. And, but in order for successful weight management and weight loss, you have to fuel your body with something.
Sure, right.
Even if it's a plant-based, if you live on a plant-based diet,
Sure.
you have to fuel your body with something. And again, and I'm learning slowly, which I should know by now. You don't eat, your brain gets foggy. You just get irritated. You just because you're focused on being hungry, you can't focus on the things that you really have to do.
Right, exactly, yes. And that's why I said, sometimes I have to go home in the evening because it's like, oh, I'm so hungry, I can't do any more work. It's dinner time, But yes, and there's a lot in the productivity world, a lot of talk about clean eating and eating good food, and plant-based and lean proteins and that kind of thing. And they also, there's a lot of discussion of junk food. And I freely admit I love junk food. I really do. I love a Twinkie. But I think we all know, how do we feel when we eat Twinkies?
Yes.
Sluggish, and you get that sugar, crash and all that kind of thing. And so the idea is that if you eat to fuel yourself to think and do, then you will be more productive.
Okay.
And so taking time to eat well is important because that makes you more productive. Also, like taking out time to go for a walk, to go to the gym, to do something like that can make you more productive too. Simply because you're refreshing your mind. Productivity world is really big on walking meetings. So let's walk and talk. Yes, let's walk and talk. Okay. So obviously that works well with 2 or 3 people. If you get a bigger group, it doesn't work so well. But if we walk and talk, I've done that a few times, and it's been very helpful.
Just listening to you talk about these ideas, this could be very beneficial for children. We wonder why children misbehave sometimes in school. They get mislabeled or misdiagnosed with a certain disorder when it simply could be some other underlying issue.
Maybe they need to go out and run.
Right. They need
to go out and hang upside down on the monkey bars or something. Have a good time. Get some fresh air.
I would love to see this. Maybe you can do this as a class project. Have your students come up with a kid-friendly version of it.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah,
kid-friendly
I'll
version
think about
of this.
that. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so just to kind of quickly get enough sleep, and like I said, eat the frog. Do the thing you don't want to do the most first. Yes. Clear to neutral. Clear your desk. Get rid of some things. Fix what bugs you. Use the Pomodoro method.
Yes, and if we have a second, do we have a minute? I can talk about
a minute.
Okay, all right. That fix what bugs you is really important. When you go to do something like a drawer that has too much stuff in it, take 2 seconds and clear that drawer out.
Okay.
It doesn't take long, and then it won't bug you again for a long time instead of bugging you every day. And the Pomodoro method is where you set a timer for 25 minutes and you focus on one thing for 25 minutes. Then 5 minutes you take off. You maybe go run up and down the stairs, come back, do it again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And fitness in the workplace. Get up from your desk every now and then. That's that. Get up from your desk and move around.
Yes. Get up from your desk and move around. And we all have our timers and Fitbits and things like that might tell us it's time to get up and move around. But we can ignore those too. We all know that. And one productivity expert I've listened to, he said, drink lots of water because 1, that's good for you and helps clear your brain. And 2, you'll have to go to the restroom. And you won't wait. You won't ignore that. You'll go and do that. And go to a restroom on a different floor in your building, and that way you get a little stairs. Get a little exercise in doing that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sorry to rush through this, but thank you so much, Dr. Melodie. We hope to have you back on again to discuss more ideas. So you've been tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. This interview will be available right after the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Have a very blessed day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people